Welcome to Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, a published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and CEO, Amy Maley. Each week, they offer you some laughs, industry terminology, tips and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate you as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old homeownership. Thanks for spending time with them. Now, let's jump into today's episode of Title Talk.
Hey!
Good morning.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging around. Amy, your hair still looks the same. If you guys
It's
missed
the
it,
humidity.
4 or 5 different hairstyle changes from the last time that we started this about 10 minutes ago.
It's clean.
Thanks for letting us know
There
that.
you go. That's all that's important.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining. Welcome back to our Title Talk. My name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are your hosts for another great show. We are going to talk about the next 5 of the trending home takeaways that are going on in the marketplace today. We thank you guys for tuning in and being patient with us during this little bit of a glitch, but Brittany figured it out because she's an absolute disaster back there. So if you guys love this show like we do, please like us, subscribe.
Please like it.
Please like it, subscribe. Do me a favor and write a review. That helps us keep the show going, and that's obviously important for us and for you guys. So it's been a pretty interesting and fun summer, right?
It's been something, man. It's during our first broadcast, I was telling Drew that it's been a telling time for the universe. I said I'm lucky. I was telling the world that I'm lucky enough to have 2 jobs that I'm involved in that I love dearly. That I've been pulling my time between them. So I'm trying to give each job as much love and loyalty and attention that it deserves. And it's usually summer. It's fun. It's happy. It's blah. It is still happy. It is a lot more. It's a lot more taxing
right?
than it was at one point. But I'm lucky. I'm blessed.
Yeah. So thanks again, guys, and Amy, thanks for being here as well. Brittany, great job. Thank you for getting us back on the air for another great week here. So we're going to start things off with our. How about it? Let's go into Title Talk fun, and we'll talk about our home trends.
Home trends.
Brittany, if you are ready, we are. Here we go. Part B, Part 2.
So it could be number 6 or number 1, part 2.
It could be 6 if you're counting 1 through 10 because we stopped at 5.
A super duper quick recap, should we do?
Yeah,
From
go
the
ahead.
5 that we've done before? Okay,
sure.
so the couple of things we talked about last week were the COVID-19 impact and how homeownership was rising. So, rent less, buy more, kind of.
Yep.
Taking advantages of low mortgages. So mortgage rates were at I don't know if I can say all-time low.
Yeah, yes,
but
you can.
They
You sure
were
can.
crazy low, around 3%-ish.
Yep.
Steep rise in home prices. This is
Yep.
kind of that supply and demand thing where, people were wanting to move and houses that were getting
No doubt.
sold, they had that ability to kind of charge what they wanted to. People really didn't care about appraisals. They were buying as-is houses. Millennials as home buyers.
Which is
Congrats,
big.
Britt.
Yeah, which is really big because as we talked a little bit last week, the millennials made up a big portion of
giant
who's
chunk of
buying
people.
homes today. And I think we see it in the business of who are closing deals for. They're younger
Oh, for
folks.
sure. It's
right?
definitely older folks selling younger folks.
Definitely.
Folks
Yeah, nice.
buying.
All right, good deal. Well,
And affordable homes that are still needed.
yes.
So, a lot of those people that were deciding to move out, stop renting apartments, not all mansions needed
Right.
affordable homes.
Very good. Good recap. That's a good recap. So now we get into another one where the shift to second tier cities, and really what this means is nothing more than if you think about the big city markets, the LAs, the New Yorks, the Chicagos. I mean those are your big tier cities, right? You start going into the smaller tier cities. That's where you're finding a lot of these investors are moving that direction.
Yep.
And I mean, for instance, one city that I know that is growing amazing is Tennessee. Now, I know that's a state, but I'm saying take a city in, Tennessee, Knoxville. Nowhere near the size of what we are.
Right.
Even some of our suburbs, not even near the size. Knoxville, Tennessee, people are migrating to Florida, Tennessee.
Yep.
Some of these smaller communities.
Indiana.
Indiana.
Like, away from
places
Illinois,
in
Chicago.
Colorado.
Uh-huh.
So what you're seeing is investors are going to these smaller markets, and the boom is still on the rise because they're creating it in those smaller markets.
Correct.
In those second tier cities.
Second tier.
That's exactly what that second tier city is. So, I mean, before the pandemic, the rise was incredible, but even afterwards, it's still growing because now the shift has gone to some of these second tier cities and putting them on the map.
Correct.
That's really what this speaks to. So
Yes.
that is a trend that we're starting to see as well. The next trend, which is, I mean,
Huge.
we lived this.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
100%.
holy cow! When COVID hit, the adaptation of our first step was, are we a
Like a necessary.
Right,
What's the word that they used?
blank worker, a essential.
Essential.
Okay,
There it
you
is.
go. So once we were determined to be essential,
Mm-hmm.
which shocked I think all of us, then came the interest of how do we do our job
Right.
under these new guidelines.
Right.
So we had to use technology.
Mm-hmm.
So the industry across the board went ahead into a fast forward of what we believe to be
Couple-
2, 3, 4, 5
I was
years.
going to say a couple of years. Yeah, I imagine we were doing during COVID what we'd have been doing 5 years from now if COVID had not happened.
I mean, remote closings, closings, parking lots and curbside, and all the electronic opportunities for signatures, and it's really incredible how fast we as a company had to jump in and adapt to this new change of technology to go, hey, there's still folks out there that want to close.
For sure.
There's still people out there buying and selling.
And I think we need to give props to realtors too, because the way, realtors were able to go from just showings. You used to hear about realtors going, oh, I have 5 showings today.
Yep.
Well, those 5 showings today turned into, the people looking to buy a home that were buying online, that
Right.
were looking online. So I think that the fact that the realtors were able to adapt to this market and, go, okay, we're going to list this home 100% online with a virtual walkthrough,
Yes.
with everything
Yes.
like that. I think that was a huge part in millennials buying so much, and I think that was a huge part in what kept this market going.
Well, that's the statistic I was reading while you were speaking, Amy, is that 44% of new homeowners looked online for the properties for sale. So,
I mean, that's what my brother and sister-in-law did.
right.
Yeah, that was their
I
first place looking.
That's really, again, I bought my house many years ago, and when we went with the piece of paper that people would show you the house, and then you go and actually see it.
Yeah.
Now you can see pictures of every room.
You can see almost an
virtual
entire
tours
Yep.
and all these things, and you're like, well, I can almost buy this sight unseen.
Yeah.
However, thankfully, it really is recommended.
I don't say
to
I was
do
I was
that.
going to say I don't suggest doing that if you have the ability to not do that.
Yes.
Just because pictures, man, if I took pictures of my house, it would look like a beautiful mansion with nothing wrong with
Well,
it.
that's it. Who's going to
But-
show you a bad picture?
Right.
Obviously we
Right.
may have an opinion that that's a bad picture, but anybody that is in the business and is going to try to sell this is not going to send you a bad picture of the
Correct.
house, right?
Correct.
So, that's awesome and exciting as well. So new technology, that's another trend that we're seeing that is growing and going crazy.
Mortgage rates?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What
for a
about
little
mortgage
bit.
rates?
So, the mortgage rates, they're obviously, they've been rising, and then they got stagnant, and then they were projected to go up, and then all of a sudden, COVID hits. Then the mortgage rates, they just dipped to some crazy levels. They predicted the mortgage rates would continue to rise, and through this, now I'm talking through like 2020, and the pandemic hits, and all of a sudden, they have to do something to stimulate the economy. So, a 15-year mortgage at the end of 2020, or middle of 2020, was 2.7 to 3.8, 3.6. That's you're paying off more of your house.
That's insanity.
Folks, that's why the refinance market went through the roof.
Yep.
80%, 75% of what we did was the refi world.
There were so many.
Mortgage interest rates really do drive a lot of the housing market. Not that people don't, meaning that if you need a house, you need a house. The
Right.
interest rate is going to be less of a factor.
Correct.
It's just, it determines what your affordability is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they become more affordable when the interest rates are lower.
Yes. And you could, get more bang for your buck. You could buy a bigger house because interest rates are lower and,
Right. I mean, I think the talk by the financial advisors to clients would be, gee, you can go out and spend $1,200-$1,500 on rent, or you can go and get a mortgage because interest rates are attractive, and actually own something. You become a homeowner, and the thought of home ownership is such a privilege in this
it's
country.
huge, yeah.
And there's so many folks that just they can't do it, or they take it for granted that I own my house. Well, don't say it like that, because there's so many folks
It's a
that
privilege. It's a blessing.
It really is a privilege to be able to own your house, and the government has stimulated the economy to be able to provide that ability with these lower interest rates.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
If you haven't refinanced, if you're on the fence, there's no
'Cause
better time.
Rates are still low.
They're
not,
They are, and obviously the home sellers, they must plan in advance for this thing, because it's going to be it's a volatile thing. You're going to sell your house. You probably sell it quickly, but guess what? You got to go find something.
you got to buy something too, or rent something, or
Right.
whatever.
What does
might
that
be for
look
you.
like?
Yeah.
How do they go about doing that? Yes, you're super excited because you just sold your house, and you probably sold it for a premium. Oh darn! I got to go find another one. There's not much out there. So that's the conundrum that they're facing.
Mm-hmm.
Is I know I can unload this, but darn it, I can't quickly go out and find something.
Right.
So
Right.
how do you do it? What's the way to go about it? What comes first? So talk to your real estate professionals.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk a little bit more about this, and if you have some questions about this, definitely give our office a call. I mean, I'm happy to talk about this with anybody, and
He could talk about it for days.
Yeah, this is. I mean, title company, yes. Also, real estate professionals is what we are.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say we're realtors. I didn't say that we're going to buy and sell your home for you and help and assist with that. But we're in the industry. We're in an industry that we have to pay attention to, and we need to dedicate our time and effort into knowing these new trends and what's going on in the marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
and how to adapt and adjust to these climate changes that frequently go on.
Yeah.
So how about the next one?
More listings for luxury homes.
What do you think about that?
I think I would like a luxury home. I'm just kidding. All right, what about luxury homes? In 3 months ending on November 30th, 2020, luxury homes saw a 60.7% increase.
Yes.
That's huge. So what is what caps a luxury home? Is probably a good place to start this discussion.
So typically the number used to be like 750, 800,000 and
I'm
above
never going to
became
get a luxury home.
I believe that number has now increased into the upwards of 850, 900.
The median sales price is $899.
So there I am.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right there. Yep.
So, and again, this is contingent on the market that you're in. The Chicago luxury home is different than a New York luxury home in LA. Obviously, LA, with all the population of stars and things,
Right.
You're in the millions.
Sure.
In New York, you have
Easily.
a similar population of famous and things, and just living in Manhattan proper is $1 million.
Yes.
And it's just hard to do.
It's insanity.
So the more listings, meaning that, well, gee, the interest rates came down.
Correct.
People now have a bigger bang for their buck because
Uh-huh.
of that. So that's where these folks are going, maybe now is a good time for me to list my luxury home.
Right.
Because I have the opportunity.
For people to actually be able to buy it,
Right.
and like more than one person to want it, and
Right.
then we get that supply and demand, and you get the bidding wars, and you get
That's exactly
these
it.
prices increase.
You know,
and
you've
people
heard
want that.
you and I have talked about it in conversation that the pyramid piece where you've got a lot of homes down here
Yep.
in the 150, 200,000,
Mhm.
and then as each gets up, the pyramid gets smaller. You get into that luxury home. The amount of people that are looking and can't
Mm-hmm.
afford those is a lot smaller of a number than in the middle and bottom tiers, where that's where people that's the comfort zone. That's where people live.
Right.
So the folks who currently own luxury homes are going, gee, maybe now's not a good time to sell. Interest rates are high. What do I do?
But now might be a
But
good time.
now,
Yeah.
so we're seeing that there's more luxury homes transacted.
Yeah, and it's actually weird that you're saying that because, like, I just Redfin all the time just
Yeah.
because I find it fun to see what houses are for sale and stuff. And, like, you know, if you look in that 0 to 250 range, there's a handful of homes,
Mm-hmm.
but then you bump it up to, like, that, you know, 900 number to see what's out there, and you're like, holy crap! Like, there's houses everywhere in this range, and I feel like if you were to say that 5 years ago, people would shake their heads at you, like,
Correct.
this is not happening.
Correct.
But now you look at that and, like, it's not a majority, that's a lie, but it's a
bigger
much
number.
bigger number than it used
Much
to be.
bigger number.
Yeah.
And that's good to see because, I mean, again, that's what stimulates the economy. That you put that kind of revenue into the stream,
That's a good thing.
money's moving.
Yes,
Money's
absolutely.
moving. So the luxury home market is another trend. A luxury home market selling is another trend that we're seeing. And then finally, the last and final one of the 10 of the home trends is the use of amenities to attract customers. This is interesting.
This is a weird one.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a million and one ways to look at this because
Mm-hmm.
when I first read this, I was like, what does this have to do with the market trend? And then you look at it a way of look at condo complexes.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at condominium complexes now versus 15 years ago, there's pools, there's gyms, there's
Right.
parking garages, there's storage units. It's like it's not just happening in condos though; it's also happening in apartments where people are looking to keep an apartment as attractive as people purchasing a condominium of their own.
Yes.
I feel like you're keeping up with the Joneses. You're constantly trying to make apartments look as good as condos so that you don't lose that renter money
For
coming in. And that's kind of where my brain went with it. But
For sure. For sure. The amenities piece, it really defines a lot of different things and really trying to attract. So we talked last week about the folks when they're buying a home, in order to get it, they're giving up something,
Yep.
right? They're going to maybe forego that inspection.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about the opposite, where we're talking about the sellers saying, gee, what can I do to draw people to my home? Smart homes
Yep.
are becoming a big thing. And that really coincides with the use of technology piece that we talked about a little bit earlier.
solar power,
Yes.
I've seen that as like
The
something
solar
that
homes. I mean,
people are.
The millennials today want a turnkey house where they can walk into it. They don't have to do much to it, and frankly, it's green. It's
Uh-huh.
good for the
Environment.
Environment. Thank
Yep.
you. And it's you're really doing something for the world,
Mhm.
and the young folks today are conscious of that, and God bless. That's great.
Yes.
So, the older folks have got to adapt to saying, I got to use some of these amenities to attract these folks to our house. Now, to make your house green after it's been there for a long period of time
That's hard.
is very difficult.
It's not just.
But you can make it a smart house.
Yes.
You can put in the Nest thermostats, and
I
your
need to get
lights
one
are
of those bad
controlled
boys.
by the
Yeah.
I mean, they're great. You can control things with your
Phones, with your-
right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All that is great.
I feel like such an old grandma. I'm like all that crazy because I live in a house that was built in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any of that stuff.
Right.
But like you hear about it, or you click off your air conditioner because you're going to be gone for 9 hours.
Amen.
And then it'd be so nice to be like, oh, I'm getting home in an hour. Click it on.
Absolutely.
Nope. Instead, I get in there and it's 90 degrees, and I'm like, the cat's probably dead.
We
Like
used to
somewhere
laugh.
around
I think about it. We used to laugh when we'd walk into Grandma's house, and you'd go, and the lights would go on.
Dude, I freaking
Right?
love those lights.
Wasn't it awesome? The
Yes.
clapper where the lights would go on. So what they
I don't like the name.
I know.
but-
Yeah. So they've taken that technology and they went, instead of
Let's-
clapping, I'm going onto my cell phone and
Smartphone.
doing it. Right. And
Yeah.
I'm turning it on. We just bought a washer and dryer. Carol can set the dryer from her phone to
It's-
go on, to go off, and I went, will it make us dinner too? That's nice.
It's
We're not
insane.
far from the Jetsons.
We are not.
However, don't get me started. I thought by now we'd have flying cars where we'd be,
No, I was hoping for teleporters actually. Like
Really? Where
it's-
would you teleport to?
I mean, from work to home. From
You
know what I mean? Like
All right.
I would love to not have to sit in traffic, especially with frickin' construction on Harlem.
Oh, and everywhere.
Oh my
And
gosh,
everywhere.
it's everywhere.
We digress. Anyway, folks, that's our use of amenities conversation, and this has really been the second part of the trends that we're seeing in the market. These are tips and tools that hopefully have been helpful for you guys. Hopefully, some of these things resonate with you and maybe help you make a decision or determine what you need to do to help sell your house, or if you're buying a house, some of the opportunities that you can take place. Yeah, I mean, the technology is growing fast. So
I was thinking about those remotes with the blinds.
yeah,
Sorry to to cut in. My aunt and uncle just bought a house and that has those windows up high and windows low, and they got the remote for it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I remember,
I'm so old.
pulling the
That's
chain.
what I mean. Like, or the
right.
ones that are up there, they're
Absolutely.
either open or closed all the time. You
Yeah.
never touch them.
So now you walk by with your cell phone and go, click, click,
Yep.
and you keep on walking.
Game on.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. So,
Man, I'm so old.
Inspired Title, folks, the title company that cares. So here we are caring about you guys, sharing a little story about the trends in the market and what's going on. So hopefully that was a valuable piece for you folks, and we'll keep on moving. What else you got, Em?
That's it.
So our ITG is
Yeah,
giving
we're,
back, and we're still always
Thinking about holiday, what we're going to do for the holidays this year. As far as giving back, and we got some cool stuff that Britt's been working on. Courtney's thrown out some great ideas to us, so
yeah.
I'm excited
definitely.
to see what the last half of the year looks like for us.
Yeah, I think
Once I
we're
get
gonna,
start thinking about
we're gonna get
anything.
really a good start on planning some things for the fourth quarter of this year and then into even next year
Yeah.
as well. I'm sure we're going to be part of the third annual golf outing, based on
Well, now that like I've done it once, I know.
what to expect, what it looks like.
And as much as you get prepared to not have the scramble at the end,
Yeah,
no pun
yeah.
intended, it'll still happen.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. It's
got
part
a
of the
good
fun.
team.
It's part of the fun. Why don't we wrap this bad boy up and let people get on with their lives?
and your mentor, don't forget.
I'm
sorry, I just wanted to bring that up
Yeah.
really quick before the last quote, just so
the
people didn't forget
mentoring,
about it.
you know, is if somebody is looking for an opportunity to they need an internship or they're looking to learn a little bit about the industry and the business, happy to talk to them, happy to even come out and meet with them and
Yeah.
et cetera. So we're gonna take the show on the road, I guess, sometime soon.
And
So,
we are actually hoping to grow our office at some point, probably in the not so distant future. So if you are looking for a job, if you are looking for a new opportunity, if you're looking to try something new and hang out with some cool people, get in contact with us because we are looking for a couple puzzle pieces. We always talk about, everybody that works here fits together like a crazy puzzle, and I think it's time to grow it a little bit.
yeah, I think that's well said, and I can't agree. I've kind of turned over some of the leadership to Amy on different facets of what we're doing, and one of the things that I've challenged her with is to kind of put in a couple more puzzle pieces and see how that works. So if you are looking, or somebody that might be looking to work with a fun organization, an organization that cares, a team that is
You have to have no prior background of title anything.
right.
Brittany's never had. I never had. When I started here, I knew nothing about what the heck a title company was. And I think that's the kind of people I like working with.
Yeah, because you can mold
It's-
them and develop them into our mindset.
And Brittany only wants to kill me sometimes.
Yeah, it's becoming less and less. So,
It's a good thing.
what's your quote for today?
My quote is from good old Aristotle today,
Ooh.
going way back in history.
Ooh.
There is only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. So you'll be criticized for doing. You'll be criticized
Nice.
for everything you do. Or
Nice. I like it.
I do too.
I like it. That's good.
Be strong, be bold, be big, be brave.
Right on.
Yep.
Right on. And I guess without even thinking about it and kind of conversing about this, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever gets done there. So get out of your comfort zone, folks.
I hate that quote. It's
Step
so good.
outside of your comfort zone and do something and make a difference. And that's really what the summary of today has been, is make a difference. And we try to do it every Thursday. We try
And
to
every
do
day.
it every other day. But we try to do it live every Thursday with you guys, and hopefully we can inspire you, as that's the name, to maybe doing something of that same. So until next week, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are your fun and friendly hosts here at Inspired Title. Until next week, guys, take care, enjoy your weekend, and be safe out there.
Bye, guys.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired Title YouTube page, subscribe, like, and follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.